So we are coming up on a year since Overwatch 2 was released, and I've been waiting to see that speck of light and hope that everything will be okay, and the years of no content for Overwatch 1 was worth it. Unfortunately, these devs have not delivered, and yes, I say devs, not higher up. There's been a misconception that the devs are innocent little rays of sunshine and have no contribution to the downfall of this sequel, but quite literally everything on this list I have today that makes Overwatch 2 a shittier experience is the doing of the poor decisions of these devs. So I'm gonna go through them today, so sit back, relax, grab a snack, and listen to me rant about the current state of this quote-unquote sequel. Jeez, where to start with this one? Now, if you've been following my channel for a long time, you know I've been a big advocate that the support role has always been the most impactful role since Overwatch 2's release. A big example is when Roadhog was running rampant in Season 2 or Season 3, and every support player was crying about Hog's unfair one-shot, and I'm over here like, are we playing the same role? Like, I see a Hog on the enemy team, and I slowly start rubbing my nipples and squeezing out some fucking 2%. Because all I had to do was go Ana and shove my abilities up his ass crack. Oh, but Kiriko cleanse. First of all, that just adds to my point that supports had a huge impact. But I can count how many Kirikos actually cleanse their Hog probably on both of my hands. They usually Suzu to sleep and then I anti them after. And on the off chance they did cleanse your nade, no Hog in their right mind is gonna roam around freely if you're on Ana hitting your abilities and risking getting slept for 7 seconds of the fight. And despite this clear counter to Roadhog, the support community, at least in my opinion, got Roadhog nerfed and rendered useless. But when it's the other way around and the other two roles cry about the unfair fucking bullshit that the support role has, they get a slap on the wrist. Brig literally ruined Overwatch 1 by herself. There's Zen's Discord, Mercy's damage boost and res, Kiriko's random across the map lucky ass fucking headshots and immortality, Bap who's basically a DPS with self-healing and immortality, the fact that Moira's skill floor is lower than the IQ of the players that play her, and now fucking Iari. My god, what were they actually thinking making this hero? I think I have an idea. I think they purposely made her broken so people buy the battle pass, because that is the only possible hypothesis as to why the fuck this character was released. And I know I don't talk like it, but I have to say it every video because people are in my comments like, oh, you clearly don't play. I've been a support main since season 21 of Overwatch 1, so that's about 2.5 years of playing straight support, but no longer. I will most likely start playing tank because I do not have fun abusing such a broken, brain dead role. If I wanted an easy life, I wouldn't have chose to be a YouTuber. You know how much hate comments I have to deal with? That's at least 10 minutes of sleep I lose at night laughing at these hate comments. You guys should be fucking praising me for being so brave. Anyways, where to begin with the Iari? Could it be she's basically Ashe with a healing turret that doesn't go away? It doesn't seem to be limited by range. You can just toss this thing up and it'll heal you from fucking Skypea. And it's funny I say this because this was my genuine reaction to playing Iari for the first time, which is the gameplay you guys are watching. Oh, and did I mention she has CC? For me, it's the damage and turret. Way too much damage for a support character, and a turret that does all the work for you because these devs want to baby these neuro-impaired support players that can't seem to do the simplest fucking tasks. So they gave them an artificial bot, which is equivalent to giving a dumbass, drooling fucking child training wheels so they can learn to ride a bike. Now, this is a console exclusive issue, so let me explain to you PC players what Ximming actually is in case you didn't know. So Ximming is when a kid grows up in a bad environment. For example, their dad leaves, maybe they got physically abused, parents didn't show any love and affection, they really didn't have any friends at school, really didn't fit in, got picked on here and there, but they find Overwatch and they really start getting into it, but they realize they're fucking terrible at it, just like everything else in their pathetic fucking life. So you buy a Zim and now you have mouse and keyboard with aim assist, a clear unfair advantage. You now, after spending all your life alone, find a group of degenerate ass gremlins known as the top 500 Overwatch community on console you can finally fit in with. Now, real talk, I wouldn't put Ximming on this list if R6, a 7 or 8 year old game that hasn't made a shitty ass sequel and advertised it as a brand new experience, started to take action against Zims on their game. So if any Blizzard dev is watching this, first of all,
hey bitch, what's up bitch, suck my dick bitch.
Second, please don't let this 8-year-old game get ahead of you in terms of fixing the console experience, considering you're supposed to be this new, brand new, innovative experience. 5v5. Now let me get this out of the way. 6v6 should not come back. I say this on the basis that the balance team could not rub their handful of brain cells together to make 6v6 as enjoyable as it once was. 6v6 was the better option if the dev team can make simple competent balancing decisions, but seeing as Yari didn't get touched for the mid-season patch, we know they are incapable of such tasks. Now what exactly about 5v5 do I dislike? It mainly has to do with the tank role, Mercy, and Widow. So a big reason as to why I don't enjoy my time on Overwatch 2 is the lack of competitive integrity and comp. No one gives a shit, so all of you on my ass about my upload schedule, it's usually me trying to find toxicity, but how can I find toxicity if no one fucking cares? And what contributes to this is the rock, paper, scissors strategy with the tank role. That comes with 5v5 and one less tank. If they have Diva, you go Zara. If they have Zara, you go Winston. If they have Orisa, you leave the game. The tank role is so counter pick heavy that if you get a tank that A, doesn't switch, or B, doesn't have the IQ to know when to switch or what to switch into, but their tank does, then you just lose. This adds to the coin flip matchmaking, which I'll talk about later, but basically each game is a coin flip where you get a tank that does or does not swap. Now I'm going to try my best to not turn this into a Widow rant, so I'm just going to give a simple demonstration on how Widow is absolutely broken with one less tank. With Widowmaker, without Widowmaker. With one less tank to dive or shield the Widow, the shittiest DPS player can just freely sit in the back of the map uncontested and take over the game. Not to mention, dive is absolutely fucking useless if A, her teammates go counter dive, or B, she has healers with the IQ above 30. So if the Widow gets any sort of healing, or she gets lucky and gets a map like Havana where you can't even touch her, then the only other counter is to have a sniper of your own. If you don't, then you're shit out of luck and have fun playing Hug-A-Wall Simulator while this sniper with high mobility one-shots your team from fucking Zimbabwe. Crazy how Hog's one shot was taken away before this tomfoolery. Now, as I said, I don't want to turn this into a Widow rant video as I've already done one. Now the same logic applies to Mercy pocketed hit scan and adds to the coin flip matchmaking. If they have a Mercy pocketed hit scan on high ground, will your DPS swap to dive to help you on tank? Will you get a dive tank like Diva or Winston to help you on DPS? Will your supports go Mercy to mirror the pocketed hit scan? Will you even get a hit scan player that can compete with theirs? Like, the game relies so much on swapping with 5v5, and if you don't get teammates who do that, then it's just a loss and out of your control. It's, as they say, a loss from the loading screen. Now, my argument for bringing back 2CP is weaker than my will to live. In my notes, I accidentally wrote will to love, which would be equally as true. But anyways, 18 out of 26 of the total maps in Overwatch 2 are push/payload maps. That's 69%.
Nice.
Of the playable game modes that require you to play this boring ass objective of sitting on cart or moving the bot. And yes, I used the calculator for that. Fuck you. Flashpoint to me is hella fun, and that sort of follows in 2CP's footsteps, and that has me thinking they should just bring it back. And even if you disagree, it is a fact that Blizzard should have at least tried 2CP with the 5v5 format, because for the better or worse, 5v5 is way different than 6v6. Listen, this could be because I'm a support player and I always gotta be the payload princess or whatever, but I think we've all at one point felt the absolute torture of having to push cart and either watch your team push up and die, get jumped by the enemy team while you're pushing payload by yourself, or just sit there while the rest of your team has all the fun being able to play the game. And the fact that that's 70% of the game is just ludicrous. Now, recently they released a blog post saying they know the ranking system is fucked, which is about time. They realize how inconsistent it is, and they said they're going to implement changes sometime next year. Oh boy, oh boy. And how they're basically going to do something similar to the Overwatch 1 ranking system, which is funny because the only good changes Blizzard does is re-adding Overwatch 1 features. Now, I hear a lot of people tell me, Raider, I go 5-1 and I stay the same rank. This ranking system is shit. Well, I'm going to be honest. I've had that happen about 1 or 2 times, and that's on random people's accounts that don't have my MMR. If you encounter that problem on a consistent basis, the game is basically telling you you're not improving as a player, and you most likely deserve it. I know the dev said stats have nothing to do with if you rank up or down, but I don't believe that shit at all. I'm a big stats guy, specifically deaths per 10, and on all my GM1 accounts, I average less than 3 deaths per 10. So I don't think it's a coincidence that I've never experienced this fallacy of going 5-1 and D-ranking or staying in the same rank because the ranking system is broken. Honestly, just improve as a player. However, the biggest issue with the ranking system for me is the fact that it birthed the the term Overwatch 2 GM. An Overwatch 2 GM basically equates to the same skill as a diamond player in Overwatch 1. I bet the $25 in my bank account that if you go in an Overwatch 2 GM lobby, you'll find at least one person who was plat in Overwatch 1 or in the early seasons of Overwatch 2, and they just magically climb up to GM. It is such a common occurrence that you cannot tell me it's these players magically getting better. And what this creates is the most goofy 50-50 coin flip experience of which team is going to get the Overwatch 2 GM that got boosted by the shitty ranking system. And that contributes to the roll or B-roll palooza that is the Overwatch 2 competitive mode. Once in a blue moon will you actually get a game that feels competitive. I truly don't think the card system will ever work. They need to revert it back to the SR system, and when they do, I pray to fucking God they do an MMR reset to get these boosted players who drool on their controllers back to plat so the game can actually feel competitive again. Because comp right now just feels like quick play. Nobody gives a fuck. Anyways, that's about all I have for you lovely people today. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button. In the comments, tell me which point you agree with the most or disagree with. I would love to hear your opinions. And yeah, I should have another video up next week, so don't worry about the 2-month thing. We'll let that slide. Hope you guys have a great day, great night, whatever it is, and peace. Love y'all.